How essential is playback to you as a drummer?
I don't think we could do the shows or the level of events we do without having it. There's a big difference between the bands that use it in town and the bands that don't, even in just production. The people don't notice it, but they feel it.
Everybody, this is Will. I'm hanging here with my good friend Sam. Sam, thanks for being here, man. I want to kind of kick off our time together talking about why playback is essential for drummers. And a lot of times, I'll do content for talking about Ableton, maybe build an Ableton set. And I'll get comments from people like, oh, I wish people could just be real musicians again, right? Playing with tracks, you're faking it, And I think a lot of times that comes from the perspective of people that have never used playback. They're afraid of it. So instead of leaning into it and learning it, they try to demonize it, right? And that's kind of their approach. But I want to talk to you because you're a gigging drummer, musician here in Charleston. How essential is playback to what you do to be able to, this is how you make your living. So this is not someone on Reddit in just YouTube comments. This is how you make your living. How essential is playback to you as a drummer?
I don't think we could do the shows or the level of events we do without having it. There's a big difference between the bands that use it in town and the bands that don't, even in just production. The people don't notice it, but they feel it.
Yeah.
And so for us, being able to adjust tracks and stuff on the fly is super helpful to have at least somebody in the band that knows playback.
Yeah, that's great. And I think what you said was the key there. I always say the best production isn't noticed. It's not seen, it's felt. And you may not be able to, someone in the audience may not be able to put their finger on like, oh, this is why that band's better than that band or different, but you feel it, right? It's this intangible thing. And I want to talk about click for a second too, because in order to use playback, in order to use tracks and these extra sounds, you have to have click. And just to clarify, some people don't understand what click is. Click is metronome, right? It's if you took piano lessons or drum lessons, that's the Boss, was it DB90? Is that the thing that all drummers use? And you have your click track and your metronome with you. Using a click hinders you, right? It keeps you from being a good musician.
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
To me, having a click is like drawing with a ruler. Like you don't have a good representation of what the time should be if you don't have a reference.
Yeah.
And so having that makes it everyone's job easier and takes some of the pressure off of drums.
That's great. So can we do a quick example? Now, we didn't talk about this. I didn't prep you for this. I hope you have 2 sticks. Yeah. Okay. Looks like you got 2 sticks there. So we're literally doing this spontaneously. I want to give people an example of how click, which is something that no one in the audience can hear, how it can improve the experience for the audience in transitions. So if we're playing together as a band and we don't have click and we're not all hearing click, I want you to play as a drummer that is going to make sure me as the guitar player knows when to come in for song 2. Okay. So if you'll, again, putting you on the fly here, on the spot, give us a groove in the song and then let me know how a drummer not playing with click would count the guitar player in for the second song.
So
okay.
So I get stuck with this weird, awkward silence that has to happen so that I can count everybody off.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to be right on it. So you have to have enough drums in your ears. Whereas if you have click, you don't have to mix that same way.
Okay, so now let's do that same transition.
Okay.
Now, everyone at home, bear with us. We're not wearing ears, but we're doing a demo here of now let's do that same transition where I can hear click as the guitar player. And maybe show us how that's different. And then we'll talk about obviously what you did differently and why that's so beneficial to us. Yeah. So what was different from you as a drummer's perspective there?
So when I have click and the band has click, I can just go into the next song. I can fill over the count in, which makes it feel like it flows as a part of the last song rather than like a song and a song. I I can kind of cover if there's track stuff that fades out really quick. I can carry over that. And then I'm not responsible for spoon feeding the time for the band. They're going to come in, so I can kind of set them up like I would in other sections of the song.
Yeah. Let's do one more example. Same kind of idea here, just to really stress this point. Let's say we're going from a big song down to boom, swelling out. And then it's a song that's starting just with pad. And I want you, this is going to be super obnoxious, but I want to give us the no click example, counting in the pad player to start the second song. Okay, so let's see that first. Yeah, so again, yeah, and you kept going, which is great because that's what we would be doing. Yeah. And particularly if the keyboard player is playing pad, there's no rhythmic thing there. The singer that's about to come in needs to know when to come in. So, I mean, that's perfect. So now if we do that with click, that transition, let's see what that feels like. And let's still give it room, you know, like this time, instead of us tying it together, which is a great benefit of using tracks and click, let's still give it room. Now it's going to feel awkward to us in the room here because there's no pad playing. Maybe we'll add it in post so that it'll feel glorious. But with click, with in-ears now, this transition is going to feel so much better. So let's take a look at kind of what that feels like. Okay. Yeah. So you're still playing ride a little there.
Yeah.
But it's more musical.
I can create some space and it doesn't have to be so like robotic.
Yeah, that's great.
And so it gives more space to the music being heard just because I'm not having to hold it down.
Yeah, that's really good. So the irony here is, which one of those makes you feel more like a fake musician? Like a robot? Maybe
not using click.
Robot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love that you use that term robotic. You know, of those two, I'm assuming the first, where you're like a human metronome. Yeah. And some people, I think, take that as a point of pride. Like, I'm a human metronome and keeping the band in time. Great. Okay. You know, having a good groove and a groove that feels great, that's super important as a drummer. But the second one, you're way more dynamic and musical. And I mean, does it feel different as a drummer?
Yeah. It's night and day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Okay, so final thing I want to talk about here, and we've got so much to talk about today, which I'm super excited about. But final thing for this particular video is, I see you have this Roland SPD SX. Is this the Pro?
It is the Pro.
Yeah, we've got the Pro. We've got, I know, both here today. But how important is this? And let's just talk very practically the gigs you're doing here in Charleston. How important is adding samples into your setup?
It's pretty huge. I use it for a lot of layered stuff, for claps. If you're doing songs with tracks, it's a nice blend to kind of lean into the electronicness of what's happening. So you kind of create this hybrid thing with this. And then sometimes, depending on gigs and traveling, it's easier to travel with this than it is all your toms. Okay. So you could put this here and use it instead of like a rack tom. And so in that instance for our travel band, if I don't have this, like I don't have half of my kit.
Interesting.
So it becomes an integral part of, just like I wouldn't do a gig without a snare. Yeah. It turns into not doing a gig without a SPDS.
So you feel like you very literally have become a hybrid drummer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your title. That's awesome. That's great. Well, Sam, dude, thanks for your time today. This has been super fun. I know we've got a lot more coming. If you guys want to see the rest of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to check the info in the description to learn more. We'll also link up Sam's socials or whatever you want us to share, his social security number, address, and first child's name as well too. But Sam, thanks for being here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.